All right, Connor. So, Mad One has arrived.
All right.
What up, big bro?
What's up? What's up?
What's up,
So
Hey,
fellas?
Hey, dude,
so
what's up?
let me
What's
introduce.
up, Disco? What's up,
Yeah.
Joe?
Hey,
hey, man.
So let me introduce Matt One. So basically, I met him in the '90s, and a mutual friend of Rey Mysterio called Ruben Torres. Shout outs to him. Um, I wanted to do a video, which was the first one, the one that you did the spoof on Disco.
yes.
Uh, no, that was the second one. You think you did the
The same,
spoof
no, no,
on?
yeah, your first one.
Yeah,
I did
Yeah,
the second one. Yeah, yeah.
You
right,
spoofed the one that
uh,
was Bow Wow Wow.
he
Yippee. I
did
remember.
that oil
Yeah.
overlay
Yeah,
thing
right.
with the Bow Wow
What
Wow
did you just
thing.
what did you think of that when we did
I
that
thought it
that
was
spoof?
cool. I thought it was a cool. First of all, who came up with that spinoff? Was
I,
it you?
brother, this guy, one of our producers, who was kind of a nerdy guy, he
Yeah,
like brought me. He said, "Hey, come down to the perform. Come down to the office. We got something for you to shoot." And it was his idea. It's Craig. Remember Craig Leathers, Conan?
Yeah.
yeah,
And
We
he
yeah.
wasn't
I
really a
remember Craig
creative
Leonard.
guy, but he came up with this, and it was actually. I was like, "Wow, that's a really good idea," So yeah, it was
Yeah, he
pretty
was the
funny.
kind of the liaison guy between the talent and people coming into the show from the
Right,
outside.
right.
I
You
remember
you
Craig
worked
Leonard.
with him, right? With Craig
Yeah,
Leathers?
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, correct. Yeah, the thing with that you did was dope because it actually was it was a spin-off of what you did was you were clowning us, but at the same time you were amplifying the song and making the song go in another direction into a storyline, which
Right,
I think led to the rap is crap with Kurt Hennig and stuff
right.
like that. Eventually led off to that. But what you did was even the awkwardness and reading the paper. I don't know if you were doing it on purpose, like missing it, but just the whole
That was,
clowning of
yeah.
it. Yeah. It was. You
That's
were.
clowning. The
And
whole,
you
you're
do.
making a mockery
Yeah,
of
the
it.
whole
Yeah,
thing. You were on point.
yeah.
So with that being said, it led. I think it led to the rap is crap thing, and it just kind of morphed from there because you did that
Right.
one thing with it, it was also a thing that you were doing with Conan at the time, with the storyline and at that moment. So it was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's good stuff.
so
Yeah.
so I had done a rap album in Mexico, and I had no idea what I was doing. I bullshitted myself into it, and so which is kind of how I got into the business and kind of how I got into acting. I just said that I had done it before, and I convinced them. You know, like they say, act like you've been there, right?
Right.
So uh, this so I told Ruben Torres, hey, I want to do a video. And then he had shown me a video of you, the one where you're like in the straitjacket in the desert.
Oh, Psycho video, the first video we did with Kevin
Yeah,
Devin DeHaven, the guy
yeah,
which was
yeah.
showing you the real, and you were gonna do something with Jail Felony. You had told me
Right,
prior to that, but there was something not going right, but you ran into that real, and
right.
Ruben Torres snatched up. You asked Ruben Torres about me, brought me in, got to meet you. I remember meeting you. You had the WCW heads with you. There were there a couple heads there, but me and you pulled each other to the side, went downstairs, we talked it out, got a feel for each other, and our bond started there in that car. That very moment, he took me in like a little bro. You know, he saw where I was in the game, and he saw at what level I was about to enter with him, which he was going to take me under his wing and bring me in, and that's where the story started with
Yeah.
Carlos Conan.
But the great thing about Mad One is that, I there's a cadence and you just can't go under rap. There is a talent to it, and he was very patient with me, and he showed me how to do it and punching in, and so then from there, when I sent it to Eric Bischoff, if you if you remember, we had Did we have Rey Mysterio in the first one? Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
we
Rey
had
Mysterio in
we
the
had to sneak
first
him
one.
in.
We had to
We had
sneak
to
him
sneak
in
him.
because he
Oh,
didn't want him in the video, right? And then we sneaked him in the second one too, and he didn't even notice. But anyways, um, and so basically the first one did really good. They got really good feedback. That now they gave us a bigger budget, and then we went over to Stockton with the low riders and the zoot suits, and that was really fresh. But anyways, we've had a really good relationship since then. He helped me. He also helped Ray rap. He also did music for Ray that was on WWE, the Booyaka. Even to this day, that's you rapping, you know.
correct,
And
correct,
and then one day you did something really big where it was like you, a POD, which they're from San Diego, you
correct,
know. You, them, and Ray did something for like a WrestleMania, correct?
correct. It was WrestleMania 22 in Chicago. So
Yeah.
we came on. We right. They did I forgot. I think that's the Sears building. They mocked that inside the arena. Had POD and I up on the top, Ray and the Aztec Warrior headpiece. So it's kind of a San Diego based thing. I was blessed to be part of the big show, and something that I never thought I would be part of in this journey. But at the same time, it was how can I say, it was eye opening, and at the same time it was bigger than me for sure, bigger than me for sure.
Let me
And I
ask you a
got to
question.
say, yes sir,
Where are you from?
I'm from San Diego,
You're from San Diego,
California.
right?
Yes sir,
Born and raised.
born and raised.
Born and raised. Wow, SoCal, huh? You been there your whole life?
Yeah, all my life. Was in the Marine Corps at one point in my life. Got to see a little bit, but mainly based out of California.
Oh, really? Oh, that's cool. So you're
Yeah.
in the Marines. So when did you start rapping?
Oh, I started rapping when I was my first record I recorded. I was 13 years old. So
Really?
13 years old. Yeah, I did it on tape. Pressed them up myself. I went into the record stores back then. There was warehouses. There was Sam Goodies and stuff like that. So all I did was grab a record. Back then, people would open up, want to see the inside of the sleeve, see who was involved, who did the production, all these little things that made it very intricate and very for the consumer and for the fan to get really involved and in touch with an artist and who made the actual art itself and the music. So what I did was I just mocked that as a 14, 13-year-old, recording myself, for a track and put them together. And I was in the streets, put them together, Xerox copy, the whole nine. Ground roots, hit the streets, a couple friends of mine, and just send them hand to hand from San Diego to Los Angeles, and so forth.
So what did you like when you started, right? When you're 13,
Yes.
well, like who were you a fan of back then? Kind of like
Okay, well, it evolved from breaking. I was a breaker, so I've been hip hopping since breaking. So one of the elements is that it was rap, so it was the hip hop part of that, and the sonic side of it. I was a breaker at once. I moved from that to back then. I was like Run DMC, Fat Boys,
Right.
LL, people first era. The first era of hip hop. That's when I came in.
Like remember those old school songs like Rap and Duke, and stuff
Yeah,
like the remember like the original
stuff like that. Stuff like that. So so my journey started then as a youth. So from that point on, you get into 13, 14 years old to doing the streets, independent, to pressing my own records, to meeting Carlos, meeting Conan, and from that to when it propelled my stuff from that to more into the mainstream and more into the TV genre and more into being attached to something bigger than me, and actually my music becoming part of their brand, part of their character. I've been fortunate to be the soundtrack to, like Carlos mentioned, to all of them from Psycho, from 190224. It's the M.A.D.O. when he going Psycho, and then from that to Bow Wow Wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, arriba la raza all day, every day. Bow Wow Wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, orale. That, and then from that, right. I did Puyaka, Puyaka, 619, Puyaka, Puyaka. That's my pueblo. And then at the same time, like he mentions, I heard you guys talk in another podcast. Carlos had me do the LAX theme song. We be dumping, bang, bang. See, a lot of people don't know that because of, like you guys talk a lot, people that run the businesses sometimes from the heads, all this, and not animosity, but competition or whatever it is, won't allow certain talent to mix with this and intermingle. So we even kind of had to keep those things on the down low. But I always been the type of person, always been on board with Carlos and Ray and our camp. Which when I say our camp is from the camp when Ray Carlos first entered WCW, and that's when he pulled me in. So I was during that run with him, with Psychosis and everybody, all that whole turn when he brought there. Well, you were there, Disco. Yeah. So all that time leading into now. So I've been fortunate to be the soundtrack of and multiple promotions at the same time, running continuous at the same time. So I've been lucky and been blessed to do that. And it's all because of this gentleman right here.
You know what's the sad part, Mad One? It doesn't matter if it was WCW, if it was Impact, or if it was WWE. It seems like every wrestling promotion wants you to give your shit away for free. Like you're even lucky that we're fucking with you, effing with you.
Yeah. And then that's where you played a part. That's where you brought it in and you kind of put me to the side, had me next to you as like a sidekick, into the soundtrack, Batman and Robin type thing with the music thing, and you kind of pivoted that little move of them saying we're doing you a favor with a machine. Pretty much more or less we're giving you promo, but you can't eat off promo, But we're on another mission. We were on a mission of like it's the very mission that we're on now is to build Carlos's character at the time, to build Ray's character at the time. If Carlos has got a project like LAX, make sure that the sound is right for that. It's always been about that. It's not always been me as Mad One just doing me. I'm always been part of the team and the brotherhood and kind of like how can I say the back end team that he gives me the opportunity to entrust my sound to be part of what they got going on.
Well, let me see this. When you were 13, like
Yes.
what, you have kind of like you rapping like what are you rapping about?
I rap
What
was
kind of
I grew up.
because his
well,
rap's
well,
obviously changed.
I grew up
over
in
the
the
years.
of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
So I grew up during the time where rap was it's a release. It's a release. So for me, it's always been a release. I come from San Diego. I was born and raised San Diego. So in the era of the crack eras, when I was 14 and 15 years old, there's a lot of things going on.
And very violent era too.
Yeah, correct. So it's on the middle amongst all that and maneuvering through that and being with a single mother. Everything I basically story told everything around me. If I didn't say it in first person, I would say it in third person for speaking of my neighbor or speaking of whoever, telling their story, telling a sequence of events. So that's where my music would come from and the sound. But a lot of the cadence and the hip hop sound of it would come from like the things you mentioned, disco, back at the Run DMC era, the rapping group. Right. So all that is, embedded in me as in hip hop. So that's what kind of like led me to start pulling in from my surroundings as a 14, 13-year-old. And, it's heavy stuff sometimes, but it's not mocking or mimicking anything around me or what I was hearing. Because at the only time that you were hearing stuff at that time was like, that was probably heavy was Public Enemy. And maybe that was real heavy was NWA, which was political. Right. So, when I was telling stories, my music would consist of that. It wouldn't be like when I walk out my door, but at the same time, walking out my door and I'm encountering what society is serving me. At the same time, I'm still trying to be a 14-year-old kid and hold on to the essence of being a child, but having responsibilities of raising my brothers and stuff like that. So all this stuff is what would go in my music. So it was very a mature spoken word. It wasn't like very elementary, cat hat type thing. It was a very, very true storytelling thing.
Maybe educate me on this.
Yes, sir.
Did like rap started becoming like when diss rap started getting like becoming a thing and like a part of the
like culture. It is now? Like it is now?
Like it is now is ridiculous. But when did it kind of start?
I think hip hop I think has always had diss, right? Even if there's like
but it wasn't violent at the beginning.
No, it was hip hop. Like KRS-One, MC Shan, The Bridge Is Over, stuff like that. Those are lyrical. Raps. That's lyrical. So and you're talking boroughs in New York. You got Queens. You got the Bronx, and now they're battling more or less like a competition thing, more like breakdancing was. Like you go to your neighborhood, we break against you, we beat you, we take your box. You beat us, you take our box. Stuff like that. That's
like if the Knicks fans were beefing with the Sixers fans. But
it's not gonna come to blows, but it's serious, right?
You talk shit because like
yeah. Right. So that was the normal thing. That was a normal thing in hip hop because there's a lot of ego, a lot of testosterone, and there's a lot of feeling and emotion, but at the same time, it's a lot of you have to believe that you're the guy. You have to believe that you're the one. So that's how people carry themselves in these battles. Sometimes if people will do things that get very personal, say things that will make someone want to act up or do something, of course. But that's just part of it. Now you're winning, now you're losing. That's just kind of like capping. Like if I'm talking shit to you and I say something about your mom, you might get upset and like, hey, you're going a little too far, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Back then when we're talking, it was settled. Now the stuff you see with it's like a rollout. This battle is going one song, like this Drake thing is lingering on for months and it's a rollout. It's almost like they're giving it life, a visual. They're giving it this. It's like they're rolling it out in steps and it's no longer a battle now. Now it's just a business tactic. So the whole battle thing you're talking about is a little different now. It's not the same.
Yeah, but I think Matt, one of the things that I was referring to, and I don't know how up you are on this, but like for example, look how crazy, bro, it's gotten in the last 10 years in the Chicago drill scene.
Oh yeah, of
Motherfuckers
course,
are getting
yeah.
capped for anything you say, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
really gotten bad over
Oh,
there.
because but they're doing it. They're using the music to intentionally do that. You know,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are used. I don't even think, not to speak out of turn because I'm not out there, but I know how the streets are. I think a lot of them are. They put them in a place where now they have to react, or now they're putting themselves in front of an audience. So now what you say is not just between two people or two groups. Now it's the whole world's watching and says, so what are you going to do about it now?
Right.
What are you
And
gonna
if you don't do
So
anything, you're a bitch.
now you're looking
Like
that.
I was watching this thing. You know that new cat from LA called Lefty Gunplay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So Lefty Gunplay, he's blowing up, right?
Yeah.
And some motherfucker, he's from Northern Cali, came down
Yeah.
and he had done a video in his hood. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he went out there.
and
Yeah.
now and then crossed the line and
Right.
showed his mother and stuff like
Right.
that. See that's the things what I mean.
Yeah. You're
It's
just
to go so
looking
far
for
that-
problems.
Yeah, now you mess with something like that and you do it in front of an audience. What's going to happen?
Right.
I'm gonna have to go handle
Right.
that, or someone's gonna have
Or you lose your credibility.
or even beyond that, that's his mother. And if he's real,
Right.
I know that man probably loves his mother the way I see he portrays it. Yes,
Right.
he loves his mother like all of us do, and you're gonna handle your business. So now it's not no longer rap now,
Right.
but then that kind of stuff overspills into the business side. Now we got labels. Now we got corporations that don't want to mess with us. That because we're a liability. Or
Right.
what if we do put this money into this gentleman or this act? The numbers are numbers, but numbers only go so far. Is it a short-term thing? A short-term investment for a company to put into someone to self-destruct like that, or not self-destruct within themselves, but the pressure of the internet, or the pressure of the audience to cause them to do something, or Cash is just gonna just make their money. And I think that's where it's at. They're using this kind of this little tactic that they do with the internet and podcasting and all that to sell records. Not even records no more because of streams. I think they use it just for how can I say, a numbers thing to say I'm more of a talent. I'm more of a public figure, a face than just my music, because the game has evolved into this other thing now. That's just not wrestlers, like you're wrestlers. Now not just wrestlers, you guys are podcasters, gamers. All this is intertwined within a lot of things. Clothing, all these things are not just boxed into just an artist just being an artist no more. So they're using all these entities to get their stuff off.
You
Yeah,
had
and it's
beef
like
with
if you
rap-
look at YouTube now, sorry,
Yeah.
Dave, if
I
you
was
look at
gonna say-
YouTube,
Go ahead, Joe.
if you look at YouTube now, that's kind of with everything. Like not only do you have your your mobsters with YouTube channels, and then they feud,
Correct.
or you have what am
Correct.
I thinking of? The Art of Conversation. Is that a channel that everybody knows? You hear of that?
All the
So
conversation. Is
He
it
interviews
Monster
rappers
Channel?
and stuff. I think it's Art of Conversation.
Hold on.
And just like the guy, who's the Russian guy that does all the to shoot interviews with the rappers, Vlad TV.
Vlad TV. Yeah.
A lot of that to me seems like wrestling. Like it's almost like they're revving it up to draw attention to this guy versus this guy, or like right now it's
Storyline.
Sammy the
Well-
Bull against the dude from New York, the guy that was
Correct.
a good guy. You know what I mean? So it's all.
Yeah, I
it's all
think
marketing.
at the end of the day, Joe, it isn't just wrestling. I just think no matter if it's politics, music, mobsters, ex-gangbangers, whatever, controversy sells.
Correct.
Conflict.
That's all there is.
Conflict.
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 Is more
Yeah.
great.
And-
All right,
Right.
let me ask you a
It was
question.
the art,
Joe.
it was the art of dialogue. That's what I meant.
Have-
That's what that
Have
is.
you had beef with other rappers before?
Well, yeah, but I never did it on record. I always just addressed it in person, or when it's
Right.
happening, address it in person. But I just leave it at that because sometimes it's like I said, it's environments. It's just like your guys' locker room. What you guys handle in the locker room, or the way you handled it back in the old school days, it's not a big old show with HR involved, probably like it is nowadays. They probably run an HR or some shit. But you guys back in the day would just handle your business, go in the shower room, whatever it was, right? The same thing with that's how I handled it. One time, someone I knew at a concert was talking smack at one of our shows that me and Carlos had did. I won't mention the name because it's like a thing that
It was really sad. I'm not going to mention the name either. It was really sad because we were both big fans of his, and he took it upon himself. Because what happened was, do you know what the Lowrider magazine is, Disco, or no?
No.
All right. Excellent magazine, and it's all about Mexican culture, lowriders and
Right.
car shows and hot chicks.
Like
and-
compared to an American magazine.
Hot Rod.
Hot
Yeah,
Rod King.
yeah.
Yeah. So we went there, and when that song blew up, you know, the two videos blew up, we were being asked to perform in a lot of places. And we went to this one place. Was it in LA or was it in San Diego? I doubt it was San Diego.
It was LA.
It was LA. We went to LA, and a very famous LA rapper, which we had worked with before, and I think we both admired, right?
Correct.
Dissed us on stage. We didn't hear it, you know, and I
Right.
think your brother's the one that heard it. And he
Correct.
came and he told us, and I remember you went over and spit at him, and you wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah.
fight him on the spot.
Yeah,
And I was like, bro,
yeah.
we can't fight here. They'll kill
Yeah,
us.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was one of those things like that. Like, you know, it's someone that you say, you embrace somebody, you work with them, we're uplifting each other and stuff like that. And these are people that are way ahead of the game, and or they're more at a higher level than I was at the moment, you know, with my stuff. So when they do stuff like that, you know, it's either I make a choice to, like Conan said, I act on it, or I won't get hired again, or do I be professional, but in the street, this guy is a piece of shit. You know, let me just tell him as such. Or second of all, if my big bro is reaching in to shake the hand of somebody in that automobile and you take off, if that person takes off while my boy's reaching in to shake somebody's hand, I take that as full disrespect.
Sure.
That's very disrespectful. So to your question, Disco, it was handled like, if you have you piece of shit, blah, 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 blah. You want to handle that, blah, blah, blah. It ends right there, though. It doesn't linger on where I'm gonna go make a song, gonna do this. It's because it's more like a man-to-man thing. So now it's just they plan the drama. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, brother, you're making money off the drama.
Yeah.
Like, think about like hey, I got beef with this guy. Perfect. Let's get in the studio. Let's make a song. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Oh, but back
But the
then-
problem is
And,
today it
everybody's getting a bunch
escalates.
of shitload of money.
That's
Yeah.
why
I was like,
Biggie's dead and Pac's dead.
yeah.
Because
Correct.
it escalates.
And,
Correct. So, but I think that's where with the when I see people like Lefty Gunplay, and I see, and I don't mean to make this racial or anything like that. It's just that in the hip hop, Mexicans have been trying very hard. Mexican Americans have been trying very hard to break through for years. Even back with Conan, took me through TV to the WCW with Ted Turner, and you know, had me on there twice a week, and with the first video, second video, they were just killing it. And people Mexicans and Latin Americans, Latin Mexicans weren't getting that far in TV. We weren't on Front Street like that. It was very hard, and a lot of it had to do with a lot of politicking and campaigning that Carlos had did on back behind the scenes with the people, and the creative direction that they gave him and trusted him with his character. Because I saw him, you know, in real time fight for his character, and at the same time fight for what storylines and what should be going on with the luchadores from Mexico, like Psychosis, Halloween, all them, you know. So with that being said, that damn, I lost train of thought. My fault.
Let me ask you this.
Well, I have a. Did you have a question, Disco?
Yeah, I'll just you do this for a living, right? So
You're correct.
who are some of the guys, like when you're in the business and you're a rapper, when you hear a guy come along and you're like, wow, this guy's like next level. Like so many people were impressed when Eminem came out, everybody's like, holy
Okay.
shit, this, like even the people in the industry were like, Jesus, this guy's real. Who were people like that to you, like the kind of
When I noticed that, because there's so many, but when I noticed that, not they all get a shot, because a lot of us don't even get a shot. There's so many of us, but we never see the light of day. When I see that, it's the people tell you, the audience tells you. I won't know that. No one will know that. The audience will tell you it's just be this vibe, this feeling, and then sometimes it's beyond music. It's just like, you know, just like a character when he pops, right? It's like, hey, he's hot. Fuck, they just embraced him. Just the fans decided to say that's the one. He's the one. That's it. We're riding with that. That's kind of what it is. And the rollout, who they're with. A lot in the game now, it's independent. So a lot of independent guys, when you see them make big noise and they're dealing with higher echelon business, like bigger companies, corporations, then you're like, wow, okay, this is independent. This guy went from the street or from independent with nothing straight to the to a big corporation without no middleman, no money man, none of that. So now it's like it's open game. It's kind of like uploading. You don't have to go find a label. You don't got to go do all that and try to shop and do all this. I didn't even have a deal when I was with Conan with 2 songs. Right. Until I halfway through, and then they messed that up, and then me and Conan had a deals with Tommy Boy, and even Rap-A-Lot was coming to get us, but they blocked that too. So with that being said, is in real time now, when you see someone, back to your question, Disco, when you see someone gonna get hot, or you think that's the one, is because they're dealing with someone like Pepsi, or they're on commercials with Taco Bell, someone like that. Then you're like, okay, now
they're getting boosted
without a label,
basically.
without a label.
They're getting boosted. It's like, out of nowhere, which is kind of weird.
But without a label, though, back then we needed a label.
Right.
We needed a label, and we needed the public relations to do that for us, or to book the shows and the Donnie Marie's. I got to do Donnie Marie with Conan back then. It was through WCW. See, now if I were to do a show like that right now with nobody independent, then it's like, wow, how did he get from there to there without the machine? So when you see that, that's when you say, okay, that might be the guy right there, because that's what's telling us he's making those moves.
I've got two questions for you.
Yes, sir.
The first one is, so when you first started, because you said you were influenced by, the East Coast, but who will you influence? Two-parter here. Chicano rappers or Latino rappers, okay? And San Diego, because when I went in there to record with you, I could not believe, and I don't even think any of these guys have blown up, but like Black Mikey, B Stone, like Damu, like there was a lot of really good talent. I was like, what happened to these guys?
They're still doing stuff. They're still out there doing their thing. And again, they're independent. But then you're talking about, people that go with the machine. People go out, they live their lives, and at the same time, they're street cats too. So all that stuff, it's that whole wave of, cruising through life, and they're into things, not things. Can't really speak on their stuff, but
they would definitely, they were all definitely street guys, but they definitely were like, you know what? I don't want no label telling me what to do. I'll just do my shows, make my money, handle my business. You know what I'm saying? Is that kind of their mentality?
No, I think what it was is, back then when you ran into it, everybody was like, they wanted one person to pop from San Diego. I said, when one person pops, then they're all the industry.
Why didn't, for example, Mitchie Slick pop? Because I thought he was awesome.
He was doing this stuff, and I think he ended up going to Los Angeles and getting some stuff going. And again, they wanted the independent, and what labels want to give you for the whole pie, just like WWE and wrestling. When you mentioned with the music, we want to own it all. Don't want to give you none of it, but we want to just, rape it, extort it to the point where we even brand it. Like, I have an example, Booyaka. It's part of Ray's whole thing. It's a brand. It's part of his branding. All of it, all that kind of stuff. And it's not just a song now. Now it's morphed into merchandise, everything. It's just, you say Booyaka, you think Ray. It's a brand. So now it's a brand. Now it's not a song. So when you say WWE wants to take something, that's what they're doing. They want to take it and then just suck the life out of it and get the most mileage, which is cool. That's what it's supposed to do, because it's going to make the thing grow. But the thing is, going along with the ride with companies like that, and putting your music into companies like that, it's all who you're riding with. I've been fortunate to ride with you guys. I've been fortunate to ride with Ray. So you always looked out for me in the back end. Whether it's you wanted the music. Oh God, it's just a song. It's just it's more than that, because we've been on this journey together. So we treat it different. We treat it with the importance that it is to the art that we created, and we know how much the value is, and how much the value is to a theme song. People could downplay it as much as they want, but a theme song is very important to a pop, to the beginning of someone walking out. It's very important. It's a soundtrack to everything. So I've been part of all that, just laying in the cut, just playing my position. You know what I mean?
Here's another question I'd ask you. So when I get to California, right? And when I get here, NWA's popping off, right? And
Correct.
People are telling me, we'll watch what colors you wear. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like I had no
Yeah.
idea about any of that. But something that always struck me as kind of weird. So the Southern California cats, los sureños, which is what
See,
you would be,
yeah.
like they had beef with the brothers. I don't know if they still do, but they had a lot of beef with the brothers. And I think that started in prison.
Prison.
And
Yeah.
and then when you go to Los Norteños, which is Northern Cali, like when we
Yeah.
first met Baby Bash, and he
Yeah.
was hanging out with all blacks. And I was like, wow, in Northern California, like the blacks and the Chicanos get along, but not like from LA down. Did that
Correct.
start in the prison system, and has that changed?
I think it's all in the mentality of the area, man. Like you said, and when I go to Northern Cali, you know, when we met Bash and we met JT, we met Jaime Trago, you know what I mean, from M2 Deep and all them. There was no you're from San Diego, you're from the north. Once again, the internet nowadays has propelled this whole north and south and all this political street stuff within the music and their creativity, you know. So now that's where we're at right now, and now people are running with it like podcasting because like you said, drama sells. It's a story. It's just like it's hip hop, and I listen to this rap, hip hop and wrestling is the same shit. It's the same shit. It's like I'm the guy. This is who I am. I do my thing. I go on, and it's a storyline though. It's a storyline. An album has to get put together with the storyline as well, right? It has to line up. Same thing. You can't just throw a wrestler out there and say, okay, make these two wrestlers wrestle that everybody wants to see wrestle for a long ass time and make it happen. But you don't even put a storyline and you just make them wrestle and you want the crowd to go crazy. They ain't gonna go crazy. Be like, what the fuck? Why they even fight? We know they don't like each other, but we want to see some shit, you know, leading up to this, you know?
Because I remember very distinctly, and I was like, wow, this is really crazy. This is when I really felt the politics, street politics. Remember that time that we went to do that show in Tijuana, and we were the underneath group, but the top group was the Bloodhounds, and they were all black.
And they were talking about the black and Mexicans on stage and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. And everybody in the crowd was black, like 90% black. They were like, get your fucking ass off the stage. Like they didn't even want to hear us or see us. They didn't even, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you're not black, get the fuck out of here. And that was the first time I felt that.
Yeah, but then again, it's now it's not where we're from, it's where we're at, and we're in Mexico. So guess what? The show went on, and we wrapped our asses off, and no one did shit. Because, hey, if anything, we'll have these bouncers take you around the corner and tell the police to do whatever they have to do with you. But that wasn't the case. It was just the politics of the streets from California, the ignorant shit, spilling into that. And it's the same thing in hip hop. When you ask why hasn't Mexicans blown up, or why isn't the same thing with Eminem? If he didn't have Dr. Dre, you think Eminem wouldn't have cut through like that? Right. Same thing with us. It was an example of what you mentioned. Look at these are dudes we're putting on. That was our show, and you want to talk crazy like that to me and dictate a racial division in this entertainment thing? It has no place. Especially if we're trying to build. So that's what that was, and that's what the streets and that many and a lot of influence from surrounding people around the artists. When the artist is surrounded by certain kind of people, they're influenced to stick to the politic of the street instead of the business of the music, you know, and that's where it fails.
Not to mention that a couple of the guys were on Sherms, so that didn't help. That did help either. But hey man, I want people to show you some love. Tell people where they can listen to your music, where they can follow you, or your Twitter.
Instagram is Mad11619, and my YouTube is Mad11619 as well. Got working on music. Got a new EP coming out as well that I'm about to drop called Illegal Alien.
Or what if somebody wants to do a beat for them or something, or even do a feature?
Or just get at me through the DM at the Instagram for sure. I wanted to rap to you. I don't know if this is it or what, but I wanted to rap more about the wrestling thing, because I love watching you guys' show, and I like listening to how the science behind the storylines, the science behind the business, the science behind the marketing, the regional stuff, the blocking of when one guy works for one company, works for the other company, jumps ship and goes, that all that shit, that backdoor shit you guys talk about. I saw it play out a lot when you were there in WCW. I saw the locker room there. I seen the locker room in WWE, and I know that I see the difference, but I've seen it more treacherous and more going free for all was WCW era.
Right.
when it was kind of cutthroat, everybody for themselves. Everybody had space and they knew there was a budget to go do what they had to do to build their character. So everybody was, attacking the people in charge to try to make their thing happen. And that's where I played a part in your character. And I got to see a lot of that, of what you did. And I got to see a lot of what others didn't do and what they tried to do to block things as well.
I'm definitely gonna want you to. Here's the great part about this interview. This is called part 1. Okay. We're gonna have a part 2, and we'll get into wrestling since I know you're a fan and you were in the dressing room and you met everybody from Eddie to everybody.
Yeah.
And we'll chop it up. We'll
We'll
program another interview. Excuse me.
Simon. We'll chop it up and we'll get into some stories of some detailed stuff. Yeah. Where maybe it'll trigger some stuff that maybe these gentlemen were probably there, someone's there to vouch for that kind of stuff that are leading to segue into other conversations about how the business really is, instead of this kind of small little thing we did right here, because it's a lot going on within that.
Well,
system.
Today I wanted to talk about you, and your experiences and ask you some
questions. Yeah.
On the next one, we'll delve into wrestling.
Shit. Well, hey, I'm extremely grateful, man, to be, even be part of this and even be.
Can I ask you a music question real quick before?
Yes, sir.
Because I was doing, obviously, I know who you are. I remember all that stuff from back then. I remember your name very well and all that. But I was doing a little research prior, and it's listed here on Discogs.com is your releases and everything. It says you released an album in 2017. And one of the tracks featured Conan, because I don't remember hearing about that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Or is that
No. I pulled it out. I pulled it off and I redid it. I'm about to get dropped again. It's cool. Left out. It's called Left Out the G, and he did the hook. Yeah. So you did a little research. Okay, that's gonna give it life. What other one? I got plenty of other songs. I got joints with some with Ray. I got some stuff no one's ever heard that eventually, when it pans out, whether they win the company now and they let it go and let it happen, or whether afterwards, right when he's going to release, it'll drop. Either way, the public will get it and they'll have it all. We're going to leave it behind.
All right. So one more time, where can people get a hold of you and follow you?
Mad MADONE 619 on Instagram, and on YouTube. It's my channel, just MADONE 619. Just DM me business inquiries and all that through there. And hey, I'm down. Hey. Thanks again, and we be dumping, bang the dang the dang dang. Don't say nothing, bang the dang the dang dang. We be dumping, bang the dang the dang dang. Now act like you know, and homie, stop fronting. Booyaka booyaka 619. Booyaka booyaka. That's my pueblo.
All right, Malo Uno. Thank you for coming on, and I guarantee you we'll have a part 2, and we'll delve as deep as you want to into the wrestling business.
Right on. Hey, I apologize if I kind of stumble a little bit, but hey.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
All right, my brothers. All right, thank
good
you.
stuff.
Órale, carnal.
Check you out, Joe. A ratón.
Thanks, man.
Bendiciones.
Thank you, man.
Órale. Thank you.
Cool.
So what do you guys want to do? SmackDown?
Yeah.